Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So last night, a mixed bag for Texas Republicans. We had some victories that we're going to get to, and we also had some closer than originally anticipated races that kind of ended in a little bit of disappointment, but nonetheless, there are positive takeaways from both of them. We will discuss them in this video. And the first race last night was the highly anticipated runoff in the Texas's 23rd congressional district, where Tony Gonzales was held under 50% in round one. He got 15,000 votes last night, which was significantly lower than the amount he got on Super Tuesday. But Brandon Herrera, he couldn't really eclipse his original vote total. But he did very well compared to expectations. I will say the pro-gun Second Amendment YouTuber, many people call him the AK guy, he went out there. He faced an onslaught of brutal advertisements and attempts to get some Democrats to vote for Gonzales in the primary, but still he fell 400 votes short of victory. Gonzales was propped up by the establishment. You look at all the endorsements he got. He got Greg Abbott's endorsement. That was probably what carried him over the top. And he also got a lot of money from Mike Johnson. And you talk about the deceptive advertisements they were running about Brandon Herrera. He made a joke about Barron Trump's height, and then they tried to pass it along to Trump as, oh, he made fun of your son without context. And possibly that gate-kept an endorsement that would have easily put Herrera over the top and sent Gonzales packing. But still, it's a very positive thing that it was this close. It puts a lot of pressure on Tony Gonzales to improve. If not, Brandon Herrera could very well come in 2026, and he probably will end up knocking him off if he does decide to run. So either way, closer than expected, hard-fought race. You're outspent 9-1, and you're a YouTuber, and you almost knock off somebody who's well-funded and protected by the Texas political establishment and Tony Gonzales. So an impressive performance. I thought Gonzales was going to win by 20, and he only won by 1.4%. But also, there was another disappointment because you have Drunk Dade, the RINO Speaker of the State House in Texas, who has Democrats chairing committees. He runs the House. The House is full of RINOs, which is funny because the Texas State Senate is like the more exclusive chamber. But at the same time, it's more actually conservative. They don't pander and bend over backwards for the left. They acquitted Ken Paxton, but the House overwhelmingly voted to impeach him over nonsense that everybody knew about, nobody cared about. The voters vindicated him, and Phelan led the charge. This is the same guy who gets drunk on the floor all the time, and he got called out by Paxton, and then he impeached Paxton. Paxton got acquitted. He was on his revenge tour. Trump endorsed David Covey in this race, and it was close. It was very close, the Speaker of the House. But again, you talk about how he was able to get by. Jefferson County, it's a 50-50 county. A lot of Democrats in that county. No Democrats in the other counties. Phelan worked overtime to get, Democrats, upwards of 1,000 Democrats to vote for him in this race here in Jefferson County that put him over the top and then some. This should not have been a win for him. We need closed primaries. We don't need people infiltrating our primaries from the other side. I think it's a disgrace. It's a disservice to the integrity of what our party actually should want. You have infiltration. You saw this in the early primary states. That's why Nikki Haley was able to, trick donors into giving her another $100 million to stay in through Super Tuesday, where she did get embarrassed, including in a lot of open primaries nonetheless, but still. It's ridiculous that you have people and they're able to cross over and they're able to elect and protect RINOs. That's why a lot of these deep red states keep electing RINOs to the Senate too, because you have Democrats that cross over. They vote for them. But nonetheless, Phelan is definitely put on watch, and there's a good chance he does not remain Speaker, or at least loses a lot of power that he initially had, because now we get to the good results from last night. How many incumbents lost to the revenge tour? You had one that won in Van Dever. Not even sure if he was a target of it, but you look at some of these other people. Holland in the 33rd lost to Katrina Pearson, a very pro-Trump individual. You have all these other people, Frazier, Stuckey, all these other RINOs. Click went down low, won in the 91st district. You're seeing this in state legislature chambers across the country, and a lot of these RINOs are getting disposed of and being replaced by authentic conservatives. And honestly, that's very important, more important than a lot of people would really give credit for it, because it is true. And when you look at it, you can see that that's where people's ascent to power begins. It's at the lower levels. We need career politicians that actually answer to the correct interest if they're able to win, because you have to play the game you're in. And if you want people running for Congress that are going to be solid, they're going to have to build up their political capital, and that's also where they start. So building a bench, that's crucial, that's key for electoral victory. And speaking of electoral victories, is Donald Trump's election victory on the horizon? Because that's the big race. That's the one that determines a lot of things. You know, we talk about these House races or whatever. I'm not saying they don't matter, but, you know, we could win 10 House seats, but if Biden gets reelected, we're not going to have a country. We're not, and that's true. And you look at Virginia. This is a state that last voted Republican in 2004. It has been moving away from Republicans for various reasons, mainly due to suburbs in Northern Virginia. And I'm not saying Trump's necessarily going to win it, but this is a state that voted for Biden by over 10 points in 2020. But now polling has it as a dead heat. This poll from Roanoke, this is one of the same polls that actually had Youngkin losing in 2021. They had Biden winning by 11 in 2020. And yeah, there's a lot of undecideds. I'm not saying that Trump's going to go out there and win Virginia, but is he making places more competitive than they should be, including states that Republicans thought they would never possibly win again? Absolutely. And if North Carolina is moving right, and we, covered the party registration data in the last video that confirms that it's moving right off a cliff in certain aspects. I'm not saying Trump's going to win it by like 6 or 7, but he could win it by like 4 to 5. And then you look at Georgia, you look at the Sun Belt states that have moved out of Republican hands, and people have largely blamed Donald Trump for it. Well, apparently it seems like Virginia is back in play. It's back in play to a certain extent. I'm not saying that Donald Trump is going to go out there and win it, but do I think it could be like a 2016 margin compared to a 2020 margin? Absolutely. And we'll see as we get closer to Election Day. It's not a high priority state. Trump doesn't need to prioritize it above a state like Wisconsin or Michigan or Pennsylvania. But when the polls have Virginia closer than like Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada, it's very, very interesting. And we'll see if this is a trend that continues. It could be a one-off poll, but we've seen other polls that have Virginia relatively competitive. And this is a state where Republicans kind of do have to make inroads in the suburbs of Northern Virginia to win. Is Donald Trump going to do it, or is there just going to be a turnout drop-off from Biden that could give Trump the edge, and maybe Trump adds some like Hispanic voters or something and continues to max out the white working class turnout? These are important questions. Can Trump even build the Youngkin coalition, though? I don't exactly know, but I don't know. Who knows? Does this put Youngkin on the VP shortlist? Probably not, but I don't know, might be able to help Trump in Virginia if he was, but that's Trump's decision to make, and he's got a couple months to make it. I'm not going to make it for him, but it's clear that Biden's team is very, very, very worried and nervous, and they're already acting like losers. We can point to a loser in this tweet right here. Terry McAuliffe, his campaign got so desperate in the final month, it was unlike anything we've ever seen before. Biden's campaign is already doing that, and we still have over 5 months to go. They're sending their celebrities to Trump's trial, and they're getting mogged in deep blue New York City. Robert De Niro, a very short guy, by the way, he's getting mocked by all these MAGA people. As Trump said, he got MAGA'd. I guess that's a new verb, but it's true. He got completely heckled. He got embarrassed. He thought he was going to go out there and really prove something to Trump. Yeah, he really didn't. And again, where are Biden's celebrity endorsements this cycle? They don't, matter as much as some people might make them out to matter, but it does kind of show enthusiasm. Biden got the endorsement of every celebrity under the sun in the 2020 election. Oh, we got to stop Trump. Oh, we got to do this. Oh, BLM this, COVID that. You don't have that now. You don't really have that anymore. Biden's not getting celebrity endorsements. You even have celebrities that were staunchly in his corner, like Cardi B, I don't really value anything she has to say, but she said that she's not endorsing him or Trump. And I think it's kind of showing that they have to trot out these celebrities that are washed up, or these boomer celebrities that are just, partisan Democrats and have been like active partisan Democrats for decades. That's all they have. You got this guy, you got some guy I've never even heard of before who was apparently in Star Wars or something. They're trotting him out to the White House. Those celebrities that are actually relevant are not coming forward and endorsing Biden. I'm sure he'll get some as we get closer to the election, but, it kind of proves something. And you talk about young voters, because we see the polls are showcasing Donald Trump is doing well among young voters, and we talked about registration data in the last video. Pennsylvania younger voters are starting to register more Republican, and that's unlike anything we've ever seen before. But you look at who they're trotting out, it's like, do you really think you're going to get younger voters by trotting out some like washed up celebrity that they probably can't even name, like a movie that this guy was in? It just kind of speaks volumes to the fact that they're completely out of touch. And a lot of these people still think it's 2020 in terms of their campaign messaging. Biden's like headquarters account was tweeting earlier today about how, 2020, Trump condemned the BLM protesters on this day in history. And it's like, okay, they're basically revising history to make Trump seem like he was stronger at curbing the violence, which again, they're just doing PR for Trump at that point, because BLM is not really all that popular. And they're trying to win over black voters now. And maybe there is something to some of these polls that we see, and it kind of proves it. But the way that they're going about sending their surrogates to certain places, it's not effective. And even though they have the cash advantage, they're just burning their money on these stunts, and it's not working out for their advantage. So, a little bit of a mixed bag in Texas, possibly an implosion of the Biden campaign, not just in Virginia, but across the country as well. So it should shape up to be a very fun 5 months and I guess an additional week from this point forward. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle, out.